Almost all the time, photography is about documenting. Most often, though, it's sort of inadvertent. When Brandon was established in 1881, photography was used intentionally to document a historical development of great significance for the Canadian prairies. That is, the creation of a new city. And of course, it was part and parcel of the enormously important construction of the CPR across the southern prairies. There are, of course, textual records. Stern and Boyce, their directory of Brandon, published in 1882, and Charles Marshall Say, his directory, 1883. Both of them, especially Marshall Say, very detailed, street by street. Even the land that is owned by speculators is listed in Marshall Say. The photographic record, unfortunately, we don't know who took all of the photographs, but there's self-evidently a documentary process. So here's the first one as an example. We're looking west on Rosser Avenue from about 5th Street. Very early on, tents, wooden structures, but they're either in the process of construction or just being finished. Here we have Winter and O'Neill and James Smart's Hardware. This is at the corner of 6th Street and Rosser Avenue, the top of 6th between Rosser and Pacific. And clearly the participants in this photo know that this isn't a casual event. It's a historic event. This is a photograph for the ages, and they want to be part of it, staring back at you over 100 and some years. They had a historical sense of just what was going on, movement of time, developments that were taking place. The same theme is evident here in Dr. Alexander Fleming's Apothecaries Hall, which was constructed on the northeast corner of 8th and Rosser. Just finished. The surveyors are still in the city finishing their work. Everyone wants to be part of the photograph. This isn't a candid shot. They're not just there to be there. They are there for the photograph. Here we have Rosser Avenue on the north side between 9th and 10th. This one appears to be perhaps a bit more casual. There are people in the photograph who aren't posing, but I think one could argue that the photographer had a documentary process in mind. A little later, the photographer had willing subjects, same buildings, but we're now all part of this historical event, this historical process of documenting the early development of a Western city. T.D. McLean, jeweler, with a window full of rifles. So if we shift our view across the avenue to the north side by going to 10th and Rosser and looking back eastward, southeastward, here's the Queen's Hotel, just newly finished. Most of the buildings along the south side are still being constructed. Queens was built in 1881, lasted until a little after 1900. The Bank of Montreal building is there now. Again, a documentary process, not a lot of human subjects, but a place, a process, a scene to be documented. The CPR formalized this process with William Notman and his two sons, who were given a special railway car with a darkroom so that they could develop photographs as they traveled across the prairies, photographing scenes that were directly associated with the appearance of the CPR on the prairies. And here we have a Notman photograph of Rosser Avenue, 1884, looking west from about 6th Street. And a second historical document of the CPR yards, Pacific Avenue, looking west from approximately the 1st Street Bridge. Away over on the left-hand, extreme left-hand corner of the photograph, the tower of the city's first fire station on Princess Avenue between 6th and 7th, where the City Hall, Fire Hall, and so on were located, is there. And away off in the distance, one can see at about 1 o'clock the first Protestant Central School in Brandon. A documentary process, lots of evidence for it.